Hello everybody, welcome back to another vlog of Pregnant and Poppin'. Not pregnant, but still popping. My son is actually in his swinging along, so I'm gonna try to do this as fast as I can before he wakes up and we're out of time, because once he's up, time to go. What I have decided to do is release a Pregnant and Poppin' episode now once a month. So for this first month, what I want to say to new moms, because there's a lot that I feel like parents don't really talk about, mostly because they don't have the time to even address it, because the first 6 weeks is survival. There is really no sleep schedule, there's no pattern. If it's your first child, you are learning everything as you go. I had a C-section, so I wasn't able really to do too much the first week or two, give or take. So luckily my mom and my brother, my dad, Paul, they all were chipping in and helping out where they could. And when they say it takes a village to raise a child, it really, really does. Like, you need help. I don't know how single moms do it. I don't know how people do it without help, because I felt like I was losing my mind due to sleep deprivation and all the hormonal changes, and not feeling like I didn't know who I was. I still am trying to figure out who I am now, because like I said in my Instagram post, it's not about bouncing back, it's about bouncing forward and relearning who you are and who you're going to be now with this new job title, as mom, or for me, milk production. Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful experience, but it's really hard. And I know people say to you, sleep when the baby sleeps, sleep while you can. It's really difficult, but there's no way to prepare yourself for a newborn until you have one. And it's such a great thing that they're so cute and you love them so much, because sometimes you just want to be like, like you're literally out of your mind. I want to say that the babies do go through their phases quickly. So like, even though it feels like, when is this baby gonna stop crying, or when will we get through this witching hour, or my son had gas like the first couple weeks. My time is all blurred, so it's just in the beginning. He had gas and we were up all night trying to help him get it out. We were using gripe water, we were using the Milacon gas relief drops, we were doing all the different padding techniques and bouncing, and we discovered that Usher works really, really well for him to get him to relax. But we were like, does he have colic? Like, we didn't know what was going on. And luckily it's not colic, it really was just a phase. And now we're in the phase where he's starting to learn some independence, which has allowed me to shoot this for a minute, because he didn't want to be anywhere other than on me. And that's like feeding, sleeping. Yes, we are co-sleeping. You can say what you want in the comments about co-sleeping or bed sharing or whatever. I don't really care, because I'm doing what works for me and my kid. You do what works for you and your kid. We are taking the proper precautions to make sure he's safe. I'm a very light sleeper. Really, I'm up all night, like, is he breathing? Is he breathing? So I'm not too worried about SIDS. For him, he also has incredible neck strength. So he can, he was rolling over at 2 weeks. So I'm really just not too worried about it. But due to Corona and COVID and all this mess, I'm home anyway. So I'm not really worried about trying to get him to be away from me. I'm enjoying holding him and snuggling him and being with him as much as I can, because he's already getting big, and babies grow incredibly fast, and I know before I know it, he's going to be running around and not just sitting still. So I'm enjoying this time. Kind of am following the baby-led way of parenting, where it's like I'm feeding on demand. I'm letting him sleep when he wants to sleep, however long he wants to sleep, and just kind of going with his flow. And I'm using an app called Baby Tracker, where I track when he eats, which side he was on, his sleeping, diaper changes, because that way when you go to your pediatrician and they ask you these questions, you have the stats, you have the information, and you can see if anything has gone different or something that you haven't noticed, because it would be very difficult to notice things like that because you're so tired. There's so much going on. Like, I know for a fact I would not know, especially breastfeeding, how many times I fed him throughout the day, because I feel like it's all day long. I wouldn't know how long on average he's been sleeping, because I feel like we're never getting any sleep. So this app really does, it shows you the averages, it shows you, you can look at the month, the last 7 days, the week. It gives you so much information. You can put your pumping in there. It helps you keep track of your inventory that you have in your freezer, your fridge. Every time you pump, you just log in like what you put aside, and then when you use it, that also goes in. So it is a lot of data upkeep, but for me, for my personality, that's perfect. It's just one thing to take off of your mind because you already have so much going on. Now, what I want to get into is co-parenting with Paul. Was nothing that I was really, no one really talks about that. I did all the research that a mom can do, and in preparing for a child to come home, and what do babies need or want, and I've got all the gadgets, the toys, the bath, everything you can think of to be ready for baby. But what I wasn't ready for was the different styles in parenting and blending them together, and the tension that it can create in your relationship. Like I have heard, like, oh, if you have the baby in your bed, that can create problems in your relationship. That's not our issue. I think when you become a parent, it shows you so much about yourself. Like, your fears, your insecurities, your anxieties, everything rises to the top, because now you are fully responsible for this human being, and what you think is best, the other parent might be have a different idea, and you have to figure out how to meet in the middle and not step on each other, because this child is both of yours. So there is no one who is more important than the other. So you have to give them that respect to have their freedom to parent their way, which can be very frustrating. And I'm thankful that me and Paul have the great communication that we do, because I feel like that's what is getting us through. But if you don't have good communication, like if you're pregnant right now, I suggest y'all sit down together and figure out your communication now. Because one of my friends actually said on Facebook, she was like, how come I see all these really happy couples and then y'all have a baby and then you break up? Like, what is that about? And before having a kid, I would have been like, yeah, what is that about? Because I feel like a kid is this huge blessing, and it is a huge blessing, but it definitely pulls at your relationship, and this ain't sweet. Really, we weren't really big on fighting. Like, we get along really well, but we've had our spats over our son. What was something that you were most surprised by or caught off guard by being a new dad? So right now, Paul is really trying my patience because
why are you recording this?
He changed.
I'm about to just walk out.
He changed
I'm about
my
to not
angle.
do this at all.
He deleted some
I'm
footage.
about to not do this at all. Then you ain't got to worry about it.
Well, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how.
Well, I'm about to not do it. So you're going to have the perfect footage for whatever you need.